2.5 miles.
Just not try to reach over and touch them with your hands. Some of them have sharp edges. I wouldn't want anybody cutting their beautiful little fingers. Keep everything inside the boat railing. That means arms, legs, heads, children, or those brand new iPhone 17s. Whatever number iPhone they own now, keep them inside the boat railing. If you guys drop those $2,000 cell phones inside the river, you guys are not gonna get them back. There's no smoking or vaping allowed on the boat tour on the river level. If they see you smoking or vaping, it's a $300 fine. Let's save that money for some margaritas instead. Life jacket says I have some underneath these hatches right over here. If you happen to fall into the water, do not panic. Just stand up and walk yourself out of the river. It's only 3 to 5 feet deep. There's only one small area, it's a lot deeper than that. I'm gonna be pointing at that area as soon as we get there. Have you guys seen the movie The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift? This is what we're doing right now. The only difference between us and that movie is that we're doing this about 100 times slower. This U-turn right here is gonna take so long, we can probably sing like 3 entire Britney Spears songs by the time we're done with this U-turn. Oops, I did it again. I'm not making this up, that's the only part I know from that song. Alright, some of you guys might have realized it already, we're like in the center of a building right now. This building we are being surrounded by right now, this is the River Center Mall. This is the second largest mall here in San Antonio. Over 1 million square foot of shopping. Inside this mall, you guys are going to find the Louis Vuitton store, the Gucci store, the Prada store, the Michael Kors. See all the ladies looking at me with biggest smile on their faces right now. But you know what? I was just kidding. They don't have any of those stores inside here. The only store that I know they have inside here is the liquor store, okay? Now, if you guys are Lego fans, they do have Legoland. They have a Sea Life Aquarium. They even have an IMAX movie theater that has been playing the same movie for many, many, many years. The name of the movie is Alamo, the Price of Freedom. Freedom, freedom, freedom. It's like a more informative version of what happened at the Battle of the Alamo. I know some of you guys are probably wondering, how come that this boat is on fire? How come that you guys cannot hear the turbo diesel engine on this boat? Well, that's because I don't have one of those, okay? This thing is more like a Tesla. This thing is electric. Each boat has anywhere from 4 to 6 batteries. I plug this boat at night before I go home. I leave it charging all night long, just like your cell phones. Then those batteries will get me going through the whole entire next day. So, when they call me for my job interview to get this job, I show up to my job interview. As soon as I walk into the office, a guy looked at me and says to me, "You're hired." And I was like, wait. I was like, hold on, man. I was walking to the office. I was like, what do you mean? And then he said, yeah, man, you got that job. And I was like, you're not going to ask me no interview questions. He said, no need to. I thought it was pretty weird. But then it didn't took me long to realize why they hired me. The only reason why they hired me to do this job is because of this reason right here. Right now, I meet the height requirement to work here. I was like, whatever, man. You guys see this guy right here on my right hand side, the one that's holding the baby with the 6-pack? That's Saint Anthony of Padua. It was gifted to us back in the year 1968 by the country of Portugal. Saint Anthony in Spanish is San Antonio. That's who they named this city after. That's who they renamed this river after as well. Do you guys hear those bells? They're coming from that building above the street behind the trees. You guys see the beautiful tower that looks like a princess castle? Right over there. So that's a church. Every time I try to talk about that church, people will start taking pictures of this parking garage over here instead. I'm like, that one, not this. So that church, that's the St. Joseph Church. It was built back in the year 1868. German immigrants who settled in this area, they wanted a place where they can worship God in their own native language. That's why they built that church. Until this day, on the first Sunday of every month, that choir still sings in their native language. It's also open to the public if you guys would like to check it out. It is really beautiful inside there, by the way. The building in front of us to my left-hand side, the one that says on the top, Hilton Palacio del Rio, is a hotel that was built back in the year 1968. But can you guys see how big the hotel is? I'll tell you how big it is. It has 500 hotel rooms inside there. What makes this hotel really cool is that they built the entire hotel in less than 7.5 months. They built this entire hotel in 7 months and 12 days to be exact. How did they do that? It's called modular construction. So what happened was they built each hotel room about 8 miles away from here, and before they loaded each room in the back of a flatbed truck to bring the rooms to this location, they had already fully furnished the rooms with the bed, the mats, the blankets, the seats, the pillows, the nightstand, the bubbles, the nightstand, the toilet paper. Everything was already inside the rooms. Inside the rooms, the construction, the only thing they had to do is stop the rooms to clean and place one on top of the other. During the construction, it's like 300 rooms per day, and the construction got so good, they was like 35 rooms per day, then they get this book world record because they built this hotel so fast. 7 months and 12 days. Until this day, this hotel is the fastest hotel of its size ever been built in the entire world. It's also on the cover of the Guinness Book World Record of that same year, 1968. The question that people ask me the most about that hotel is it safe to stay in there? I was telling them I wouldn't. I'm just kidding. It's totally fine. It's a pretty nice hotel inside there, by the way. I'm gonna make a stop over here before we make a left. The only reason why I'm making a stop is because I gotta make sure there's no other boat coming to crash with us. I'm not trying to cast a scene like the one from the Titanic. I don't know if you guys been walking around the Riverwalk area already or not, but the first thing you guys are about to notice is going to be all these Christmas lights hanging from underneath the trees. And you guys are going to see them all throughout the entire San Antonio Riverwalk. Some of you guys are probably going to be wondering, what's going on with all these Christmas lights? Well, let me tell you, here at the San Antonio Riverwalk, we do not have a homeowners association. That means we get to keep these Christmas lights up all year round if we want to. And don't think they turn them on at night, they don't, they really just left them up there. The water from this river comes about 4.5 miles away from here. It comes from the Edward Aquifer. The Edward Aquifer is an underground limestone lake. This lake is so huge. This lake sits underneath our city. That's where the water from this river comes from. Then this river travels 220 miles south, meets with the Guadalupe River, then travels another 30 miles south, then ends up in the Gulf of Mexico. This is a real river, ladies and gentlemen. You guys see this boat right here on my right hand side? This is our second boat tour location, same boat tour, different location. The only difference between this location and the one you guys got on, it's that they don't have me here. That's the only difference. That's why they look all sad. They're like, "Bob, where are you?" I'm like, "I'm right here." You guys see this building over here on my left hand side? It goes from here to there. This is the one hotel that we were just talking about that they built in less than 7.5 months. You guys get a better idea from this location exactly how big this hotel is. I know there's people inside this boat that takes them longer to clean their closet than what it took to build this entire hotel. Yeah, you know who you are. You know you there, you're out there. This area over here in front of us, this is called La Villita. La Villita in English means little village. This is the oldest neighborhood here in San Antonio. So what happened was, Spanish soldiers who were stationed at La Misión San Antonio de Valero, better known now as the Alamo, those Spanish soldiers, they settled in this area and that's how the neighborhood got started. Exactly 301 years ago, year 1722. Do you guys see those green looking stairs over there in front of us? That's the Arneson River Theater. It was established back in the year 1941. It has capacity for 800 people. They have concerts over here. They have comedy clubs. Riverwalk parades are broadcast from this area. They have at least 150 different events here per year. If you guys look to the right hand side, that's the stage. Are you guys familiar with the movie Miss Congeniality with Sandra Bullock? If you guys remember the movie, there was a part in the movie where Miss Sandra Bullock was doing a bikini competition. She was in this very same exact stage. If you guys remember the part very well, when Miss Sandra Bullock was on top of this stage doing her bikini competition, there was a part where she winks and then she giggles. That's because she saw me driving by on my boat. And I'm making this. Some guys, next time you guys see the movie again and you see me Sandra Bullock doing that, you guys gonna be like, that was Bob right there. That was Bob breaking hearts. I still remember like it was yesterday. You guys see those statues over there in front of us? The statue of the bulls with the cowboy on the back of the horse. It looked like a scene from the Wild Wild West. The building right behind it, that's the Briscoe Western Army Museum. They opened their doors back in the year 2013. They have a lot of cool artifacts inside this museum. They have the last known horse out of Pancho Villa, the ceremonial sword of General Santa Anna. They even have a diagram of what the entire Alamo compound used to look like. But this same building has been here since the year 1930. In the year 1930, it used to be the public library. That bridge over there in front of us, that's the Presa Bridge. Only 10 of these bridges here in the United States. 5 of them are here in Texas, and we are so lucky we have 3 of them right here at the San Antonio Riverwalk. What makes this bridge so special is that it was made in Berlin, Connecticut. Just a quick reminder, everybody please remain seated. This bridge hangs very, very low, and I need to make sure to align this boat to go right in the center of this opening so nobody hits their head. So a couple of weeks ago, I had the national basketball team. They came on the boat tour with me. Right when we were going underneath this bridge, I had to tell all those guys to lay down. Underneath this bridge is where most people get free haircuts. Do you guys see the black table over there in front of us? That's the Father Massonet table. It was gifted to us back in the year 1991 by a local artist. But this table is sitting on top of an island. The name of this island is Marriage Island. Over 300 couples get married in this island per year. If you guys look at this island from above, the roots of this cypress tree make the island look like it's in the shape of a heart. If you guys would have been here during Valentine's Day, there was a crazy long line of couples trying to get on top of this island, either to get married or to propose. I was at the end of the line. I told my girl, this line is too long. Let's go sit at the bar instead. I didn't want to miss happy hour. But I don't know why she hasn't called me or texted me back ever since. She's been acting toxic. I'm confused. Okay, now that we're out of the area over there where there's too many low-hanging bridges, too many tight turns. This section in front of us is like a freeway. And these boats are so fast, they reach top speed as quick as 5 seconds. Does anybody wants to see how fast these boats are? Okay, get ready. Pedal to the metal, 5 seconds, here it goes. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ladies and gentlemen and children, we have reached full speed. Push it to the limit. Guys, I'm really not making this up. We've been going full speed ever since we left over there. Sometimes people worry when they see ducks swimming in front of the boat. They think we're going to run them over. And you know what? I try. I just can never get to them. They're too fast. What about this beautiful building on my left-hand side with a big, beautiful flag all the way in the top of the building? That's the Tower Life building. It was built back in the year 1929 by the Smith-Young brothers. It cost them $3 million to build this tower. $3 million. Do you guys see those tiny little things sticking out of the top of the building? Those things are called gargoyles. When it rains, water comes out of their mouth. The Smith and Young brothers were very, very superstitious. If you guys look at the lower portion of the building, above the tree line, you guys gonna see some ugly looking faces. Those things are called grotesque. The reason why they put those ugly looking faces there is because supposedly they were off evil spirits and bad business. But they did not work. The same year that they completed this tower, 1929, that's when the stock market crashed, and that was the beginning of a really bad era. So 3 years later, the Smith-Young brothers had to sell this entire building for only $300,000. Now, I'm not good at math. I'm only good at math when I'm getting my paycheck. Then I'm like Albert Einstein doing some algebra, trying to figure out what half of my paycheck went. And I think it's called the IRS. This is the only 8-sided building here in San Antonio. The style of that building is neo-Gothic. The building sits empty for now. But by next year, they're going to be building condos inside there. So if you guys are looking to move to the Riverwalk area, condos will be available for sale. And if you guys leave your windows open, you guys are going to get to hear me every single day. Building in front of us, that's the Bejar County Courthouse, oldest continuously operated courthouse in the state of Texas. It was built back in the year 1897. The style of that building is Romanesque Revival. They use local Texan granite, red sandstone, green, and red roof tiles. But if you guys give me a favor, everybody look over here, everybody look at this way. This is a different angle to look at the tower we were just talking about. Some people say it looks like a giant boat. I can kind of see that a little bit. Some other people say it looks just like the Titanic. Now I know they got mental problems. Those people that say it looks just like the Titanic, some of them even say if they stay quiet long enough around about this area, they say they can even hear the horse of the Titanic. Now I know they have completely lost it.
You know you lost what?
Only crazy people can hear that. You guys see the markings on these little walls over here on both sides of the boat? There's a floodgate that sits underneath of us right now. When we're having some heavy rains, it'll be two floodgates that will close. This is one of them. These two floodgates are the ones that keep this whole area that we've been on away from flooding.
Whoa.
The section that we just entered right now, this is the deepest part of the river. This is the flood channel, 21 feet deep. But don't you guys worry about it. They told you guys earlier we have life jackets on this boat. What I did forgot to tell you is that I only have two, and one of them is mine. Back in the year 1921, we had a really bad flood right here in the downtown area. The water rise 10 feet above street level. So the water went 10 feet above that bridge. It killed over 50 people, and it cost millions of dollars in damages. Then along came a guy, an architect with the name of Robert Hugman. He is the one who designed the flood channel and the floodgate system. Everything was finally completed in the year 1941 at a cost of only $430,000. That's how the architect earned the title of Father of the Riverwalk. If you guys look at the bridge behind me, on top of the bridge, you guys gonna see some shiny looking things. Those things are locks. They call the bridge the Love Lock Bridge. Oh, so beautiful. So what happens is couples get a lock. They put their initials on the back of the lock. They put the lock on top of the bridge, and then they toss the key down the river. Supposedly when they do that, locks their love forever. But if you're not too sure about your situation, they also have combination locks. Come handy one day. Do you guys know which is the day of the year that most people fall inside the river? Yes, we got a party boy on the boat over here. He knows. St. Patrick's Day is the day that most people fall inside the river. Somebody told me that the only reason why they fall inside the river is because the leprechaun pushed them in there. I was like, man, I don't think so. I think it's more like the Irish Carbones, the Guinness, and the Jameson shots. If you guys haven't been here for St. Patrick's Day, you guys should. They have this crazy big party down here for St. Patrick's Day. So the party starts with the boat parade. The boat that is in front of the parade turns the water of this river green. After the boat, there's like 30 other boats behind it. On top of those boats, there's people wearing costumes, people playing the bags, people falling off the boats because they've been drinking all day. It's crazy, it's fun, it's out of control. I like it. The only one thing I don't like from St. Patrick's Day is that I don't know why, for some weird reason, I cannot remember the last 4 St. Patrick's Days. I don't know why, I just cannot remember them. It's weird. The tree in front of us, we call it the Van Mylen tree. That's the biggest and the oldest tree right here at the San Antonio Riverwalk. Some people say it's about 400 years old and 100 feet tall. There is a legend that says that back in the year 1835, there was a Mexican sniper who climbed all the way to the top of the tree. That Mexican sniper was up there for a couple of days. He is the one who shot and killed Benjamin Mylen. Now remember I told you guys we had 2 floodgates that keep this area away from flooding? This green structure above us, this is the second floodgate. The only difference between this one and the other one is that this one comes up from the top to the bottom like a car garage door. Does anybody has any questions? No, good, thank you. Let's move on, everybody. Let's move on. The building in front of us to my left-hand side by the bridge. Back in the year 1921, it used to be the CPS building. This is where San Antonians will come and pay their utility bills. But I can tell that none of you guys want to talk about utility bills right now. Well, guess what? In my other job, I'm a babysitter. I am. I gotta babysit those bad little kids I have at home. You guys see these boats over here in front of us? This is our 3rd and last boat tour location. Same boat tour, different location. You guys see the bridge over there in front of us? That's the world famous Selena Bridge. Oh, so beautiful. If you guys don't know who Selena Quintanilla was, she was a really famous Tejano singer from Corpus Christi back in the 1900s. Over here on my left hand side, this building right here, back in the year 1853, it used to be St. Mary's School for Boys. Only boys were allowed to come to this school back in those years. How come now we done it here? Then the school got too big, they had too many alumni, they had to move the campus a few blocks away from here. Then somehow, eventually, it became St. Mary College. This same building then later on reopened their doors back again in the year 1968 as La Mansión del Rio Hotel. But the building I really want to talk to you guys about, it's going to be the really tall building on the back of this one on my left hand side. Do you guys see the really tall building all the way over there in the back? Okay, now that you guys notice the corner of that really tall building back there, I'm about to show you guys something really cool. I'm about to show you guys an optical illusion. That entire building is about to disappear. I know you guys are wondering how. Alright, get ready, here it goes. That entire building is about to disappear because we're about to be going underneath this bridge in front of us. Everybody was like this, everybody was like... Even the guy that was on the sidewalk, he was like... Look, what did I say? Look, it disappeared. Nobody knows where it went. Nobody knows. As soon as we come out of the other side of this bridge, if you guys look to my left hand side, look as high as you can. It's going to rule on one freestanding wall in exactly 3 seconds. 3, 2, 2.5, 2 3/4. Last but not least, 1. Now that building right there, ladies and gentlemen, that's the next hospital. The next hospital was built back in the year 1930. In the year 1930, the next hospital was the first and the only hospital in the entire nation to have air conditioning. There was no other hospitals with air conditioning before this one. A lot of famous people have been born there. Carol Burnett, she's an actress, singer, comedian. She was born there. Michelle Rodriguez from the Fast and the Furious, she was born there too. Carol Baskin from the TV show Tiger King, she was not born there. The hospital closed their doors back in the year 2019. The building sits empty for now. The building in front of us, that's the Hyatt Regency Hotel, built back in the year 1981. Before they built this hotel, they had to do shadow testing. Why would they do shadow testing, Bob? That's because they didn't want this building to cast a shadow over the Alamo. After all the shadow testing was done, they realized that only 16 stories is the highest they could go. That's where it sits at now, 16-story high hotel. The lobby of this hotel links the Riverwalk with the Alamo Plaza. If you guys walk through their lobby, you guys are going to find one of the most beautiful lobbies right here at the San Antonio Riverwalk. They have a series of gardens, water fountains, and waterfalls. If you guys look through the window, they even have a miniature version of the Lovelock Bridge inside there. Oh, so beautiful. Over here on my right hand side, above the street level, you guys are going to see the Casino Club. That's the only casino right here at the San Antonio Riverwalk. Everybody gets so happy as soon as they heard the word casino. I haven't noticed some of you guys, as soon as you heard the word casino, you started twitching because you just can't wait to go inside there and start gambling. Stop it. Stop it right now. I tell you why. It's just a name. It's not a real casino. There's no gambling inside that building. In fact, the upper level of this building is an apartment complex. If you guys want to move to these apartments, you guys need to put your name on a waiting list. And you're going to be waiting anywhere from 5 to 7 years. But if you only go to the first level, then it's only going to be a 15 to 20 minute wait time. That's because the first level is just a restaurant. Talking about restaurants, if you guys want to have dinner in one of our boats later on today, come talk to some of these restaurants. They give you more information. They can even get you set up. If you guys want to go on a drinking tour, same exact thing. The biggest margarita here at the San Antonio Riverwalk is 60 ounces. Over 13 shots of tequila. They won't sell it to a single adult. Has to be 2 adults to purchase it. If you guys need help, call me. I come with you. We get it together. We party all night long. It's going to be over here on my left-hand side, the Lone Star Restaurant. Now, this restaurant is a mix between Mexican and American food. Around here, we call it Tex-Mex. You guys want original Mexican food? Then it's going to be right here to my right-hand side. How do I know it's original? It says it right on the front. If you guys want authentic Chinese Mexican food, it's going to be this other restaurant right over here. If you guys want authentic Italian Mexican food, it's that one right over there. I'm sure you guys already got that point by now. Welcome to San Antonio. Mexican food everywhere. There's 25 Mexican restaurants on this little area right here all along. How do I know that? I counted the other day. This tiny little building on my right hand side, right by the stairs, that's the Clifford building. Back in the year 1941, the architect of the Riverwalk, Mr. Robert Hogman, he decided to put his office in this tiny little building on the river level. The only reason why he did that is because he wanted to show other business owners that this area was going to be safe from flooding. And guess what? It worked. Because not too long after that, finally, the first restaurant opened their doors here at the San Antonio Riverwalk in the year 1946. It's going to be Casa Rio on my right hand side. Can any of you guys take a wild guess and tell me what kind of restaurant this is? No, it is not Mexican. It's Lebanese Mexican. I'm just kidding. You guessed that right, guys. This is Mexican restaurant. This is Mexican restaurant number 372 right here at the San Antonio Riverwalk. Just kidding, just kidding. This Mexican restaurant was actually built on land that was granted by the King of Spain back in the year 1777. Pretty much this whole area that we've been on, this whole loop we have done so far, I'm going to say it is a natural river. It does have a natural river bed. At least 85% of it. There's a lot of fish inside this river. There's turtles, snakes, snails, all kinds of animals. Now this section we're just entering right now does not. This is a man-made area. This is an extension that they added to the river right before the year 1968. The only reason why they added this extension is because in the year 1968 we had the World Hemisphere. This fair lasted 6 months and over 7 million people came here to town for that event. The fairgrounds were up that way. They needed to find a faster way to transport the 7 million people coming and leaving the fairgrounds back to their hotel rooms and restaurants around the Riverwalk area. They transported those 7 million people on top of boats and gondolas. The whole bottom of this section is made out of concrete and it's about 4 to 5 feet deep. The building in front of us, the one right next to it, the one with the 2 needles sticking at the top of the building, the one that says Marriott on the top. Well, guess what? That's the Marriott Hotel. The Marriott Hotel was built back in the year 1988. Before they built the Marriott Hotel, guess what? There was another hotel in the same exact location. The name of the hotel is the Fairmont Hotel. That hotel was built back in the year 1906. It is a historic building. We cannot demolish historic buildings around here. You know what the Marriott did? They left the entire Fairmont Hotel, loaded up in top of $36 and rolled it down the street 6 blocks away from here. Now the Fairmont Hotel sits on the corner of South Alamo and 9th Street. It's in the Guinness Book World Record for being the largest building ever moved on public streets. They moved the building back in the year 1985. They were rolling the building down the street at a speed of half a mile an hour. It took them 7 entire days just to roll the building to where it sits at now. But what's really crazy about the whole story is that the Fairmont Hotel is still open. You can still book your rooms online. You can spend the night there. Same hotel, same building, same name, same everything. There's only one thing that they change. Their address. Their address. Over here on my right hand side of the street level, you guys gonna see Tower of America, second tallest observation tower in the United States, 750 feet tall. On top of the tower, they have an observation deck, a bar, and a restaurant that spins around every hour. Now, they say that only the restaurant spins around every hour, but I was up there one time for happy hour from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., and the bar started spinning too. Then I went to go use the restroom, even the restaurant spins. I was like, man, this place is cool. Alright guys, I gotta get serious for this because I gotta talk to you guys about the most important stats of all, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. This is gonna be really interesting, you'll see. The most important stat of all is this one right in front of us. This is called the Stargazer. She was gifted to us last year by a Mexican artist named Pedro Reyes. She is made out of volcanic rock. She is 16 feet tall. Can you guys see what she's holding in her hand? A star. That star is made out of marble. As we get close, if you guys look at the center of the star, there's a tiny little hole in the center of the star. So she's looking inside the tiny little hole. She's looking through the tiny little hole. What she's trying to see, what she's trying to figure out, it's when the Dallas Cowboys are gonna make it to the Super Bowl. That's why she looks sad. She's like, why don't she not here? Let's get out of here. I can't believe you guys would say something mean like that. Some of you guys might have realized it by now. We are back to where we started. If you guys know what that means, it means this is the end of this boat tour. Please, everybody, remain seated at all times. I will let you guys know when it's safe to stand up and exit the boat. All I want to say to you guys is thank you very much for coming on this boat. I really appreciate you guys allowing me to be your boat captain for today. Last but not least, tips are accepted and they'll be greatly appreciated. If you guys don't have any cash with you, don't you guys worry about it. I got you. I accept Venmo and cash. What? I hope you guys have a beautiful rest of your day at the San Antonio Riverwalk. And the crowd goes wild. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys would like to check out those pictures you guys got taken earlier today, this person right here on my right hand side is going to have them ready for you. Now just give me a quick 30 seconds, I'm going to tie this.